What's something that changed/disappeared, because of COVID, that still hasn't returned? 24-hour stores and restaurants. There are probably way less than half, as there used to be. I miss being able to go to Walmart at 3 a.m., when I couldn't sleep, and was craving something I didn't have in the fridge. Honestly, people's manners and their reasonableness. I work retail, and the average person has become significantly more needy, entitled, and angry over the last 3 years. It's sad. We are experiencing higher than normal wait times. Yeah, right, you just didn't rehire the same amount of people you laid off. Now it doesn't matter when you call, you're looking at a multi-hour wait. Businesses have also been saying that same message for the last 3 years. It's a normal wait time now. Me giving a shit about my career. Me giving a shit. I just don't really care anymore. Edit, lots of updates. I wanted to stress I wish I cared. So much is falling apart, and the apathy is overwhelming. If it wasn't for my good girl Pupper, I don't know if I'd get up on days off. I used to sing on my drive to work. It was my brain showing how happy it was. I finally had a job, with great coworkers, after a long unemployment, but now, I sit in silence. I still have this overarching anxiety and fear of losing my job, because of what happened to so many others. I'm sad and scared all the time now. Impending doom is real and it effing sucks. I'm 32 and I have never once had a job where I did not feel as though I would lose my job tomorrow. The stress and anxiety are crippling. I don't even play music in the car anymore. To and from wherever I'm driving, it's just silence. There was a wonderful hobby shop in the town I live in. Sold RC vehicles, high-quality model kits, supplies, model train stuff, hosted MTG tournaments, Warhammer, etc. Really nice place. It was run by the nicest guy and some of his friends. It's gone now. Makes me really sad. I bought all my hobby stuff from him. Now, I have to either drive 2 hours, if I want to buy from a locally owned store, or I need to buy from online. That's the worst. Those places are such bright spots, but they usually are only moderately successful in the best of times. There was one around the corner from where I grew up, that I visited a lot, but the owner wound up having to close, because the landlord decided to be a D about demanding rent early, or something like that. It's been a while, so I can't remember. There is a tiny retro hobby shop near me, that's well known for being attached to an auto repair shop. Both are run by the same person. He has a passion for the hobby shop, but makes money through auto repair. He hopes one day, he'll be able to convert the whole place to a hobby shop, but he doubts he'll see that day. People's patience. Yes. I work in a pharmacy, and people hate to say it, but normally old people will come in and ask for a refill on a medication they've been on for years. We'll say, it'll be a wait, and they'll damn near flip the counter over. But I'm out. It doesn't take that long to put pills in a bottle. Then I say, that's why we ask for a 48-hour notice prior to you running out. There's people waiting for urgent medication ahead of you. We'll fill yours when we get to it. I'm going to report you. I can die without my medicines. Welp, another 40 minutes prop won't kill you. You'll receive a text message when it's ready. I take scheduled stimulants for my ADHD, so getting refills is a nightmare. Can't refill a day early, can't get a couple days worth to cover the gap if I'm out of refills, and haven't called my doctor yet, all exacerbated by the fact that these are the exact type of situations that I struggle with because of the ADHD, and I have only lost my patience with a pharmacist/pharmacy worker once, when they F up my dosage twice in a row, despite me very clearly confirming with them the exact dosage I needed refilled. Which is to say, I've only expressed mild irritation, when the pharmacist literally did not do their job properly repeatedly. I have witnessed the old people you're referring to berate pharmacy staff and pharmacists when I'm picking up my meds, and as a former retail worker, it makes me livid. I have so much respect for how calm all of you are, in the face of the absolute insanity you have to deal with. I've never once seen any pharmacy staff raise their voice, or take the bait, when a customer is losing their shit. My insomniac ass, being able to do my grocery shopping at 4 a.m. COVID gave me insomnia. I haven't slept good since school sent us teachers home. I was always out when my head hit the pillow. Then suddenly, at best, 4 hours a night. With at least twice a week, no sleep. Sense of time is effed up. Like, if I skipped 3 years of my life. Went from being pretty close to approximating, when a past event happened, to having no clue now. That happened last year. No wait, 6 years ago? Whatever. Time got wibbly wobbly. I still have a vivid memory of driving to work in early January 2020. It's a radio commercial for a type of ice cream, and I thought to myself, my wife would really like it. That memory feels like it was a few months ago. I don't have tons of memories of my day-to-day from March 2020, or really any of 2021-22. It really is like a time skip. People's mental health. Absolutely. Since the start of COVID, I've noticed a huge uptick in people getting angry at the smallest things. Not just online, but also in real life. At one point, I remember literally making every single person angry. Everyone I met. Even saying, thanks to someone, got a snippy response. I had never seen that before COVID. It made me go like, is everyone like, okay? I think we're seeing that people are still very angry about things right now, even very trivial things. Edit, I don't think we can blame it on US politics. I'm not in the US, but the same thing is happening here. The weird thing of this too is, that because things have moved even more online, you're getting this in real life hostility, coupled with a very disorienting, fake, and perfect, online Instagram presence. It's very nauseating. It's honestly hard to tell what's real. My theory comes down to grief. I think we as a Western society, do not hold room for grief. There has been so much to grieve. From jobs, to lifestyles, to actual lives. But no time allowed, and no good leaders. Just people trying to pretend that things are normal. Well, they're effing not. My business of 17 years. I'm still working on getting over it. I had no idea that I would grieve it. I think of people who ripped off the COVID relief funds, and when I hear of people who went through real problems, makes me rage. My wife's business was on life support for almost a year. Those funds, plus the generosity of her office landlord, who gave her a temporary discount on rent, were the only things that kept it afloat. There's an underlying hopelessness that I feel almost everyone shares right now. The way people were acting during the height of it seems like it's irreversible psychological social damage that never had us coming together as a society. Even people of faith seem to be concerned. And I was so hopeful at the beginning of the pandemic that this could be the thing to bring us all together and fight and persevere. But no. The talking heads and politicians had to make it political instead of considering the greater good. I'm still not sure how it went in all the other countries of the world, but surely not all of them went the way the US did. Paperwork, everything is PDF and e-signed now. I don't even see the people I used to get signatures from. Good. As an IT person, printers can take a long walk off a very short pier. I just don't understand it. It feels like as time marched onward and technology's improved, printers are still somehow the most annoying pieces of junk to use. I also can't wait until they just die. Cool hobbies that people picked up got left behind due to people going back to the normal life of working and traffic. So many lost sourdough starters. Edit, I just want to say how much I appreciate the creative names you all gave your sourdough starters, may they rest in peace. My social battery. I don't know what happened. I was literally going to a music festival once every 2 to 3 months, multiple music shows, hanging out with friends, and going out camping, partying, etc. Now, me and my wife just kind of sit at home, and maybe go out to a park, or do some hiking, and every once in a while, go out to a board game night. We went to a couple music shows, and I just felt like, what am I doing here? I'd rather be on the couch. But then when I am home, I feel guilty, like I should be out, enjoying life, but have no motivation, or I guess, pull to do anything. Frankly, it's been miserable. House prices seem like they'll be forever unattainable now. The fact that they continue to rise in many markets is the one that gets me. We could accept 2020's huge run-up as an aberration. 2021 maybe even still. Finally, in 2022, there appeared to be a slowdown in the meteoric rise. 2023 appears to be tracking the trend to rise again. But we're only 4 months in, height of selling season, so we'll get another look as the year goes by. Hotel cleaning service. They all still have signs up that say they aren't doing daily cleanings, unless requested, to keep staff safe. Total BS, at this point. I don't mind not getting full service every day, but my last hotel stay was over a week, and I had to take out my own trash, and beg for clean towels. Affordability. Rent is ridiculous. Groceries are ridiculous. Gas is ridiculous. My student loan payment will be 200% higher than what it was pre-pandemic. Eating out is expensive, plus, so many restaurants are adding on surcharges that you pay, in addition to the tip. Concert tickets are ridiculous. Capitalism is grinding us all into the ground. I feel like, to unintentionally use a bad joke, the mask slipped off during the pandemic. All of them did. Capitalism really went, everything costs more, and you will make less. What are you gonna do about it? Die? That's fine. Direct delivery from restaurants. Everything is now being funneled through DoorDash, Uber Eats, etc. I just wanna call the Chinese place and order delivery at a normal price, like the old days. The food always arrived, and was usually what you ordered too. With DoorDash, it's often wrong, and sometimes it never shows up at all. And getting your money refunded is like pulling teeth. Yeah, when it's the restaurant delivering, it's their ass on the line of the order is wrong/late. I'm lucky that a bunch of restaurants around me still have their own delivery people. Seems like people have forgotten how to drive properly. Just this week, some dumb F did a left on red at an intersection, while I'm going through a green light, and nearly T-bones me. And the number of people driving, with bright on, in the middle of town. Today was the first time I've had to drive at night in a while, and it seemed like almost everyone had their frickin' bright lights on, no matter if there was oncoming traffic, someone in front of them, or anything. So, I guess I miss considerate drivers. Physical menus at restaurants. I'm sorry, scanning a QR code, and then using my phone's display to browse a menu is absolutely the worst user experience for doing that. The screen is just too damn small to quickly peruse a large selection of items across numerous categories. My social life. No one wants to do anything anymore. Apparently during COVID, everyone got used to never leaving the house. Plus I'm in my 30s, so, over that year or so, a few friends moved away, had a kid, etc. I haven't lost those friendships, but I don't get to do anything socially anymore. I feel like I lost my chance to be happy. ETA, my heart. Woke up to lots of upvotes and comments, virtually all of them from a place of empathy. I have so much gratitude for all of you. To all the lovely people sharing words of encouragement, it means more than you know to hear these things. I took a few screenshots so I can look back when I need to remember these things. Thank you, truly. To the people in the same boat as me, I'm sorry you're going through this too. It's so hard, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. But look at how many of us there are out there. This gives me hope for us. We have to keep trying and taking care of ourselves in the meantime. My town's student life. I live in a fairly small town, where a huge part of the nightlife and general social stuff was tied to our local university, where I also studied and currently work, and its student body. When COVID hit in full force, we switched to mostly online courses. As a result, a lot of students never bothered even moving here, obviously convenient. At the same time, they never started making the friendships and connections that are an integral part of the university experience. Their information networks are fractured, they barely even have study groups. Previous generations had no issues switching their study groups to online, or even creating new ones, but these students barely know each other, and barely even seem interested. Both the professors and TAs, as well as the old guard student government, have done what we could to try and encourage connections among students. But damn, it's taking a lot of time for this stuff to come back. And I know a couple local business owners that are dancing on the edge of bankruptcy because of this whole thing. I'm a public high school teacher, and students' attention spans are still very short relative to before. Do you feel as a teacher that there's been an intentional dumbing down of the overall population? Serious question, because I see it everywhere, and it's truly frightening. Not Broflake, but I'm in HS education. They are straight up addicted to their phones, and often are unable to string together coherent sentences. Are they related? Absolutely. I certainly wouldn't use the phrase, dumbing down. This is a phenomenon of students going through the pandemic, and how they cope with the extended social isolation, and how they're reinforced by current media. Intelligence ability and general knowledge ability may have actually increased on many fronts. There's a moratorium against cell phones in my room. Any benefit a phone can bring, they can get on their Chromebook, so they don't have them in class. The problem isn't the phone, it's that modern trends in social communication have perfected maximizing the delivery of interesting ideas for as little time possible. It's a challenge to match that, and getting students to be patient in learning in school. On the other hand, it has pushed teachers to adapt to make their classes more valuable. Not that teachers need more things to stress about. I feel like handshakes are still pretty rare, relative to 2019. I'm very anti-handshake now. Like, if I care about you, let's hug, if I don't care about you, don't touch me. I'm still weird about them. I try to go for a fist bump, if appropriate. Yeah, no, that's crazy. At least not in my social/work circle. What did change is that fist bumps are way more acceptable, no matter the age gap, lol. Snow days. I was pleasantly surprised this past winter, when my kids' school was closed due to fear of an ice storm. They announced they would not be doing online classes. My public school district actually enforced true snow days this year, after several parents, students, and teachers took it to the school board. Finally convinced them that it was good for the kids' mental health to just let them enjoy the snow and the surprise break. Private schools in my areas haven't jumped on board yet, but I bet they will next year. A lot of my joy for life. I'm not joyless, but a large part of my life was being part of a vibrant, very diverse, and inclusive music scene in my small town. COVID shut that down, and since things have come back, the venues have changed hands, and the music scene has closed off greatly. Far less inclusive, very cliquish. It's very saddening. The scene is unrecognizable now. Man, I feel this so hard, it makes me misty-eyed to think about. I've been a musician in my area of Northern California for 20+ years. I earned a music degree and all that. Seen a lot of change over the years, but nothing so drastic as to the aftermath of COVID. The remaining establishments that have live music seem to book the same dozen or so acts in regular rotation, and the difficulty to be included within the scene is truly staggering. The demand and competition for gigs is heavy, and if you don't have a connection, or you're not a tribute/cover band, or dance band, forget about it. I try to get out to live music almost every weekend, to enjoy the music and network with the venue and bands. Most conversations are amicable and positive in the moment. But future contact, requesting collaboration, is either met with, "Man, we're super booked up," or just straight up being ghosted. It's effing depressing when it happens time and time again. So, I feel your loss of joy for real. One of my bands is forming a strategy for content creation and streaming, just to stay afloat. I don't think we suck either. We're all college-educated musicians. For whatever that's worth, but we play a lot of original music. I still get up and practice my instrument every single day though. I'm obsessed, and I can't stop, even if I wanted to. I love it too much. Though it has felt like a bit of a curse the past few years. A beautiful curse, if such a thing exists. Sociability. I feel like many people, including myself, became stuck in a pattern of reclusiveness and can't get out. When the pandemic started, deep down, I effing loved it. I have major social anxiety, and I'm not a morning person, so it was a dream not having to drag myself out of bed every morning, spend 50 minutes commuting to work, and deal with office small talk and presentations and such. To be clear, I don't ever want to deal with that bullshit again, but somewhere along the line, I also lost any drive to be social at all, and basically I'm a hermit now. You can't expect what will happen to your brain when you're isolated, until it happens. I just have way too much time to swirl about worries that don't really matter. I've lost a lot of friends. I was diagnosed with a major, incurable neurological movement disorder, called cervical dystonia, a year ago, and I can't help but wonder if it was caused, or triggered, by the complete lack of any new stimuli from day to day for the past several years. I want to be done with this phase in my life, and start being social again. But now, most days, I'm in so much physical pain that I feel unable to leave home and do anything. All I have left is my partner, and he's struggling too. Some days I feel hopeless. Places accepting cash. In the last few months, I've been to concert venues, sports stadiums, and certain restaurants, for the first time since lockdown, and I'm surprised at how many of them are card only. I get that we were trending this way before COVID, but I think it's a shitty way of doing business. Big/diverse cities, like NYC, are interesting, because you see both ends of the spectrum. Most newer/hip restaurants and cafes are card only, while you still have a lot of street carts, bodegas, Asian vendors that only accept cash, or have a minimum card purchase or surcharge. Kindness. I feel like COVID has completely destroyed how people interact with each other. I went to undergrad in the before times and graduated right before COVID. I feel like the world was a lot nicer then. Sure, we had people who were grumpy then, but it feels like we have forgotten how to be kind to each other. I work for a church now, and I wonder what pre-COVID would have been like, because I don't feel like, in a lot of the jobs I've worked since COVID, people have been that nice. Maybe, in the job I worked right before I went back for grad school, people were cool, but I feel like we lost a lot of decency from COVID. Makes me wish we still had Mr. Rogers, and it makes me want to somehow collaborate with his company to make a new Mr. Rogers program, using his old clips and a new host, like Mr. Rogers' nephew could host the show, talk about the things Fred would, and maybe watch clips of Fred on a modern picture or something. Mr. Rogers is and was always my biggest inspiration, and I miss him a lot. All of the things people are saying. I miss bookstores that were open in the evenings, late night cafes. I miss people not being angry psychotic freaks, and honestly, that's maybe just the US. I was in Paris a couple of months ago, and I was amazed at how nice everyone seemed. I realized it was just a contrast to the Americans I've had to deal with in the last 3 years. Parisians are the same, but, man, they are warm as hell compared to people in the US these days. The huge gap in young people's lives, particularly those like 8 to 21, now missed out on some important times. I was a senior in high school, so I missed my senior prom, senior trip, a normal graduation that isn't 6 feet apart, starting college in person, etc. I ended up at a community college because I can't learn with online classes with my ADHD, and can't return to my #1 college pick that I got into due to my poor grades from that. So many others went through the same thing. Plus, the development of younger kids got screwed up, and they didn't have the opportunity to socially mature, so the poor underpaid teachers have to deal with it. Just sucks for young people all around.